Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday night.
Oh, let me put on my mask.
Saturday night.
Last call.
And we know it's all right. Last call. What's going on? How are you guys?
I'm not bad,
How
man.
fun
you
was
doing?
tonight?
Tonight was
It
great.
turns out Grafton loves barbecue.
Absolutely they do.
We sold a lot of barbecue.
We sold out everything. We had
I love
had
it
a lot of
because
barbecue.
I love barbecue too. So we'll
Grafton
do
has
it.
spoken, and
Barbecue it
we
is.
like
Barbecue.
barbecue, tacos, and burgers. And guess what?
Chicken wings
Chicken wings and beer.
and beer.
Which, by the way, I also like those.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm all for it.
How was your day today anyway?
Yeah, it was good.
Beautiful day?
I was here, but it was awesome.
I was kind of asking so Sean could tell us that he was cleaning the basement all day.
So my day was a little bit at the pretzel shop. So I was at the pretzel shop this morning.
Yes,
and
I remember.
Then I saw you guys here this morning, and then I went home and was sent to the basement to clean, and it was very productive. The basement is cleaner than it's been since the water that damaged 9 years ago.
I remember that. The
So,
day, literally, he had this great basement space. We cleared it all out, and we put in
Pergo
the
floors.
hard fake cardboard flooring.
Yeah,
See you,
Pergo
Ryan.
floors.
The Pergo floors, and then
A couple months later.
it wasn't even a couple months.
Yeah, maybe 2 months.
I want to say if it was 6 weeks later, I'd be surprised. The thing
Basement
floods,
flooded.
and it's like we had grand visions of see you, Jack.
Bye, Jack.
We've been there 13 years, and it's only flooded that one time. It's never flooded before or after. And so, brand new Pergo floor, dried it out, everything buckled.
Did you end up redoing it?
No, so it's a finished basement. It's got a drop ceiling, finished walls, the whole thing. Like, it's completely finished. But the floor is concrete right now. It's just basement floor.
Bye, Alan.
We have some of the greatest staff in this place.
Oh my God, everyone's been so
Good staff.
We've been so lucky through this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
just-
we're very lucky.
Yeah, sorry. I don't.
Over the past 2 days, just this weekend, it was a cluster. It was so busy.
Busy, yeah, very busy.
Abnormally busy.
And everybody's getting creative with how they're because the job's not the same job.
No,
You know, a lot of
Very
these people were. Jack was the host, and now he's helping us with delivery and taking orders, and
Yep.
it's cool to see everybody sort
Jack's
of.
been a host, a line cook, a delivery driver,
Fuda.
and food runner.
and Fuda.
He's like the jack of all trades. No
Literally, no pun intended.
So
but
it's
he has
just
it.
fun to watch.
And he's a
how
break kid.
everybody's
He's
Yeah.
everybody's just going with the flow because every day is different here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Yeah.
know. We just there's no playbook.
no play.
Like,
There's no
what?
COVID playbook.
Yeah, it's like okay, that worked.
We're
Let's do
writing.
it.
We're writing it
That
now.
didn't work. Let's not do it.
Well,
Anyway, I'm thirsty. Can we have a beer?
All right.
All right, so beer.
Every
Start
show,
with a beer.
We start every show with a beer. Today we have Cisco Brewery Whale's Tail Pale Ale. Classic.
It's a
from
classic.
Cisco. It is a
And
pale
Cisco,
ale.
that's Nantucket,
Nantucket.
or Martha's Vineyard or something?
Yeah.
Yes,
Nantucket.
one of the islands.
I think it's
Nantucket. It's Nantucket. Yeah.
Have you guys ever done
Nantucket?
any time in Nantucket?
Yes.
I have not. I have not
No,
gone to Nantucket
I haven't.
or Martha's Vineyard that I can
I've been, but
It's
no real
like
time.
it's like no other place on earth.
It makes
And
Martha's
whether
Vineyard
you
look.
love it or not, it's different
It's
than
unique,
any
though.
place. It's totally unique. It's somehow you get off the boat and you feel like you are in if Disney said here's what a New England island would look like.
Ideal Cape Cod type of experience.
Yeah, it's just
Is that the one where the red caboose is at the when you get off the ferry? The red caboose is right there, and they sell this.
of course.
So this beer, Cisco is like one of the very early people in the craft brewing game.
Definitely. Early to the game.
And this beer has been around forever. It's been a classic of theirs, a staple. It's a 5% pale ale that you can drink
Yep.
in Nantucket, like during the summertime, perfect weather. So I thought this would be like the perfect beer for today,
Yeah.
considering the weather and
It comes from the times before heavy hops, so there's a little more malt forward in this one.
yeah, exactly.
well, hope you have
Cheers,
good
guys.
drinks.
Hope you already have your beers.
I have a fun Nantucket story. I ended up. That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
It's so easy. To
Super
drink.
easy.
Oh,
It's just right there.
It almost tastes like a red ale.
Yeah, it does kind of.
Yeah.
I ended up on Nantucket for a weekend once with some people that I didn't really know very well, and somehow in the middle of the first evening we were there, everybody's doing hanging out, talking. We got talking about Wicked Twisted Pretzels. And they're like, I can't believe you didn't bring any pretzels. Why don't you have any pretzels? Like, how do you come to a party and not have pretzels? You're talking about how great your company is. And So I called our sales guy at the time. I said, "Hey, do we do any business on Nantucket?" He's like, "Yeah, actually, there's this place that buys a ton of your pretzels." And I called the guy up, and it turns out it was like from here to the street away from us. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm the owner of this company. Any
Can I
chance
come
you have
get some
pretzels?" Like, come down. I go down. I come back with a case of Wicked Twisted pretzels, like in the middle of Nantucket. It was so much fun. Like yes, that's my pretzel. So that's what I think of every time I think of
Now,
Nantucket
Island
now.
Foods handles that for us, right? Yeah.
I gotta go over there one day. I've never been. That I can remember.
I-
You got to
What
do more than a day. You got to stay.
Yeah,
Because you got to do the
pain in the ass.
nightlife part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's very much like all day. Everybody seems to be like hanging out, going to the galleries and the shopping and the downtown walking streets
And
and
then
stuff.
nighttime, it's a good
But then
time.
at night, it's like what you would think.
It's kind of like P-Town without cars. mean-
well, no, it's definitely more uptight than P-Town.
Well, of course.
It's
Well,
definitely
probably more money there, right?
yeah. P-Town's more like
Laid back.
Very laid back and
like
liberal.
you do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care. P-Town or Nantucket's very
Has
much
rules.
like you're in our place now. This is how
This
we
is
do
how
it.
we do it.
In my opinion, I might be seeing. I've only been there once, so I can't.
Now, we love going to Martha's Vineyard.
Love the venue.
We have a couple annual trips we go down for food shows and stuff, and we always have. We tend to go right before the season starts, which is really fun because all the staff is there, but the people aren't there yet. So you go to the restaurants, and it's all industry people.
Yeah.
So you get to hang out with all the bartenders and stuff from
I
other
hope they're
places.
going to be okay this summer. Those places.
They'll be fine because they're not going to let anyone on.
Well,
I
mean,
think once things start opening up, I think people are going to be very excited and desperate to
Yeah.
get
yeah.
out.
But
So,
let's get to the vacation house,
right.
right?
sad,
Yep.
right? So I don't think we're going to. I mean, you might see a little bit of a downturn in it, but
No.
I think
Yeah.
they're going to do just fine. I think.
I think they'll be okay.
So this beer, Cisco,
Sorry.
Nantucket,
digress.
5%.
No, hey, that's
This is
why we're
a
here.
$4 can here at Reunion. I think COVID time we're selling it for $3. So
$3
pick
beer.
up, you could get a 6-pack of this and enjoy it.
Super
nice
easy to
sunny
drink.
day.
Yep.
Did I hear a rumor that we have a guest tonight?
We do have a guest. We do. Do we
Can we-
want to bring him on now?
Sure.
Or do we want to bring him on for the bar?
No, the sooner the better.
It's all right. Well,
I love Steve.
whoa, that doesn't.
That doesn't- that's nothing to do with
the. Steve. It's just,
Well, just
I
because you
didn't
don't want to
know.
hang out.
Well,
Well, you don't want to share the food.
We'd like to apologize to Matt Damon. Sorry we didn't have time.
I didn't know you. I forgot you were hungry.
I'm just saying.
I don't want
we-
Steve to eat one of my.
Yeah,
He'd have mine. He'd have mine.
Fine. Bring him on. So
All right.
we have a guest here tonight, Steve Landry, who's been working for us since the beginning.
Day one.
So day one superstar for us. Steve's a bartender, server, and a manager. Runs the shift. He does a great job for us, and
Clark Kent.
we called him in today because we wanted to bring him back. Finally, we could take him off furlough and bring him back and say, "Hey, man, we need you."
Yep.
Next week, hopefully
We're getting
have
ready
our-
It's
to
about to
open.
get crazy.
and it's about
Come
to get
on
crazy.
in here.
So come back, and we figured we'd have you on. So Steve, why don't you come down? Say hello.
Thank you. Air fives.
Air fives. Air
Get,
fives.
get used to this man, and you'll be seeing a lot of them over here. At Reunion if come
You all
down
know him
and enjoy
already.
the tent.
You probably recognize him as easy as us.
Love working here. It's great to be back. Great to help you guys out. Getting going phase 2 here. Excited.
Yeah.
Phase
all right.
2. Here
Get
we
me out of the
go.
house for once.
Yeah.
Right?
From
I mean,
homeschooling
who-
a 7-year-old.
Yeah. So what was your COVID like the last 2 months?
You know?
Homeschooling?
Yep. We're helping a 7-year-old try and learn.
Seeing frame. I just want
And so,
Yep.
you know, it's easy. We're lucky she's a very, very
So
good,
few
smart kid. And so it's easy in that respect. However, as far as frustrations come with getting her to finish the work, sometimes it's.
to. I
she
forget
just wants
what's
to play video games.
What's
all day.
7th grade? What 7-year-old is
First grade.
First grade. Oh, so that's a pre-algebra. I mean,
Pre-algebra, yeah.
very pre-algebra.
Very pre-algebra, yeah.
So as we talk about the food that we have here today, before I jump into that, I got my uncle said the pulled pork I got earlier today was out of this world. It exceeded my expectation. North Carolina pulled pork I had in the rearview mirror.
Wow.
Oh!
Love it.
That's
I was
great.
worried about that because I saw him in here earlier and I was like, oh, here we go. We got to live up to the North Carolina, because we were talking about North Carolina
Yes.
barbecue
Yeah.
last night. So I didn't say anything. I didn't want to put an earworm in his ear, but I was like, oh, hopefully you like it. So, I'm
So he loved it, and then
Awesome.
the reason I bring that up, and I saw that is I wanted to do another thing of barbecue, but as you found out, we
We sold out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, scrambling. What do we want to put on today? What do we want to showcase? And Matt from the back, as you guys all know, our chef, he said we should just do the deep fried Oreos. We haven't showcased those, and those are one of the best things on the menu. So
yeah, and it turns out it's a Wicked Twisted product. So we actually make these.
Perfect.
It's a
So we make the pretzels.
Little known secret.
Yeah.
That we have another side business that sells deep fried Oreos.
We
for
make
the most bizarre,
mustards.
random reasons.
Yep.
But turns out those things sell like hot Oreos.
Like deep fried Oreos.
yeah, I mean, think about like an Oreo is fantastic, right?
Yep.
And then you just deep fry it and
It's wrapped in
nice little
pastry dough.
dough
so
or pastry dough.
So the typical deep fried Oreo is
Cake
done
batter.
in cake batter, where
Takes-
typically when it's done they'll dip it in like cake batter. It's a total messy scenario.
Loose.
And they throw it in the fry later, and it ends up being.
You got to eat it on the spot.
You definitely have to eat it right then, but it's basically like a donut wrapped around an Oreo, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
You kind of can't screw that up in any way.
It's a carnival food, sweet on
But
sweet.
we sort of took that concept and elevated it just a little bit, and Sean, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, so this
more
is a puff pastry dough. So it's a 20-layer butter pastry, which is much hardier, not as sweet, buttery, wrapped around the Oreo. When we deep fry it, it puffs up. So it's a puff pastry wrapped around an Oreo. It definitely gives you the same carnival deep fried Oreo and cake batter, but it's not quite as sweet on sweet. It's still incredibly sweet. If you have a cavity, it's gonna hurt. But it holds up better. It's a little hardier. You can fry it and eat it 10 minutes later. You don't have to eat it 10 seconds later.
And our customers love it because the mess doesn't exist anymore. It's
Right.
literally they grab a pre-made, pre-wrapped, frozen product and throw it right in the fry later.
Yeah, so it's ready to go.
There's no waste. They're not losing any product. It holds up incredibly well. And
Now,
And it tastes great.
normally in the restaurant we serve it with a scoop of ice cream, but right now we're serving what we're doing is you get an extra Oreo. So instead of 4 Oreos and ice cream, you get 5 Oreos and some frosting because ice cream doesn't hold up in the lobby.
No, yeah, especially in the summer.
Yeah. So when you order your dessert and you want a scoop of ice cream and you come a half an hour later and it's 85 degrees out, it's not ideal.
Can we try one of these? Or?
absolutely.
We've been talking about
I
them.
feel like we don't even need silverware
I'm
for
just
this
gonna
one.
grab
No,
one.
they're
Me
finger.
too.
It's finger
Oh,
food
it is
all
finger
the way.
food. All right.
I'm going to try one.
Here we
Dip
go.
it right in the, what is this? You call it icing?
Yeah, it's the same white icing that you would put on like a bear claw or a strudel or like a
Kind
glazed.
of like crack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
Come out
what
of country fair.
it's weird because the Oreos melt.
Yep.
So the Oreos become like this vanilla chocolate filling. They're not like crunchy.
Exactly.
So they end up being like little stuffed pastries, like little like stuffed donuts.
That's
It reminds me
I haven't
of
had one in a long time. That's really good.
Not really good.
it reminds
I
me of like
forgot
the
that we
dark
made it.
chocolate glazed donuts that you get.
Oh, sorry.
Wash my hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if you like fried dough, if you like
that
fried
one
anything.
I should be. I could see like up at Hampton Beach.
Oh my God,
Like a fried
you could have
Oreo
a
stand.
stall that only sold those,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and you put the same coatings on them that they do at the fried dough stands. You do peanut butter, jelly, chocolate, coconut, whatever.
And I don't really love desserts. Like that's amazing.
I
Yeah.
never order dessert, but this one I would order all the time.
Yeah, again,
God.
it's one of those like Food Network carnival novelties that kind of makes sense, and like
definitely,
deep fried Snickers bars or deep fried
Favorite of the
Twinkies.
staff's end of the shift.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Especially with the girls. They love
Yeah.
ordering those.
they do.
Yeah, it turns out somehow we lose about a case and a half of those a week. But whatever, as long as everybody's happy. Yeah, those when you talk about the 20-layer.
The pastry, yeah, the puff
Explain
pastry.
that just for a second. Because
Well, so-
that's a pretty amazing process. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, so puff pastry, you take a sweet bread dough, you take a sweet pastry dough, and then you literally put a pound of butter in it. You fold it in half, you roll it out, you fold it in half again, you roll it out, and every single time you get a layer of dough, butter, dough, butter, dough, butter. And what happens is when you stick it in the oven or the fry later, when the butter heats up, it separates the layers of dough. So the dough just gets puffier and puffier and puffier. So those layers of butter create that puff. So you end up with a light, crispy, 1/8 to 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch thick puff pastry dough, very buttery. It doesn't, it's got some tooth to it, so it doesn't fall apart like cake batter. Yeah, so
It's so good.
So good.
I'm impressed, actually. I feel like we should sell these.
Absolutely. We sell quite a few. So we got Steve on as a guest. Everyone, we always do a drink.
By the way, I just have to say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've really missed having Steve around.
yes,
Absolutely.
He's been an integral part
Yes.
of this place, and it's just. I always know when Steve's here, we don't have to
don't
worry
worry.
about a lot of things,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's when you have
That's for
somebody
sure.
like that in your professional life. It's special. So thanks for coming back,
My
man.
pleasure. It's good to
For
be
sure.
back. Missed you guys.
So
Good to be back here.
we're gonna put you to work right away. So you're gonna be bartender today. On the show, we always have somebody play bartender. That's gonna be you today. I think I was, hoping that you would come up with a drink for us or have a signature cocktail. So you told me you make Mai Tais.
He did,
I
but
do.
then we decided we don't have any of the stuff.
we don't have the
I
stuff
do-
to make them.
We're doing something different? 'Cause I can
Oh,
probably pull it off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if you
Okay,
so if you can
okay.
pull off a
I
Mai
think
Tai.
with what I heard you guys talk about, the theme of the day, kind of island life, Nantucket. Today's a perfect day. Make yourself feel like you're going down the Caribbean or to the New England island of choice of Nantucket.
Yep.
Get yourself a nice,
All right,
a
perfect.
nice,
Love it.
refreshing kind of cocktail. So we'll go with the Mai Tai. Good
Let's
thing
go.
about
Love
Mai
it.
Tais, they
Love it.
taste fruity, but they also can be strong.
They sure can.
Well,
It
That
can
was like
be.
me in high school.
strong and fruity.
That was me in high school.
So do you guys want me to just make one and we'll
Yeah, we'll
No.
split it, or
you
make
want three of them?
make a
One
double, make a
Or-
double,
or
split, or make a
shots or
triple,
something?
Yeah,
or whatever,
we can
or
do
make
it.
Usually,
You
with
tell
the Mai-
us.
So usually the Mai Tai, I like to build it in a pint glass.
you build it in the
There's a
glass.
lot- There's a lot more liquor in that, and it's.
Well, then I have a great idea. Hang on. I have a really
I
good
could
idea.
build it in that, and then we can maybe portion it out.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Smaller.
We'll portion it right out.
Into 4 of
The
these.
4 pint glasses. Fantastic.
All right, I'll make it 4 of them then.
Make it
Why
4.
not? That's fine by me.
And by the way, we've talked about this a lot, but we love drinks you can build in the glass. It's nice when you build it in the glass. You know what you're going to end up with: Long Island iced tea, Mai Tai. There's the margarita even we built in the glass.
All right, so just while he's doing this, when you think Mai Tai, what's the first place you think of?
Dragon.
Dragon 88.
And then maybe
Dragon ass.
Those were made with gasoline.
yes, they're made with gasoline. Absolutely.
I have spent many years there one night.
Do you remember?
No.
Right, exactly. Someone told you.
So
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah,
gonna
no,
use
that's
a-
a
It's when
Light rum.
you
perfect.
there's a
Light
little
rum.
Goslings over here if you want it.
Yeah, that'll be on top.
Oh, you already
have
usually
it.
I'd like to prefer to use a spiced rum.
Yeah.
But well, we're gonna build one a little bit more.
But Mackenzie drank all the
a little
Captain Morgans?
extra
No, I'm just kidding. She didn't. Derek did.
rum in there too. I don't
Derek
usually
did.
like to put that in, but we'll make it a little bit more island-like.
And then, of course, I mean, Wong's does a great Mai Tai right here in town.
That's right.
True. That's true.
They do, I think, a mango Mai Tai.
Oh, see, there you go. Specialized.
You know,
I haven't been to Wong's in a while.
I haven't been in a while,
I
but I have been, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't say I've really done the Mai Tai at Wong's. I've done plenty of Miller Lights at Wong's.
I want, but no Mai Tai.
You're smart.
You know, I
So what was that? Coconut rum?
coconut
Yeah,
rum.
just a little bit of coconut.
All right,
rum,
so we
just
got
to
a
get that
light.
kind of.
So this is
Island flavor.
he's working with what we have.
Yeah, I know, I
So
love it. I love
he
it.
usually does a little Captain and
Usually, though, that's how I like it. Just some spiced rum,
Yep.
pineapple juice, orange juice, little grenadine in there for color,
Yep.
little flavoring. Top it off with some dark rum.
Yeah,
on
so like
top.
you said, this has a Caribbean flair.
Yeah,
know what
so
I
a
think
little more
about-
light rum style instead of the spice with the coconut.
Awesome.
So a little bit of flavor.
You know what I think about when I think about Mai Tais? It's gonna be super random, but you know Kevin who did our IT and he does it with Concourse.
Yes.
Nice guy. We like Kevin.
That's
and
true.
His team. Kevin
Has a signature Mai
has a
Tai.
signature Mai Tai, and I found that to be the most
Random?
interesting thing about him. You know, one time we were talking about stuff, and he's just like, "Hey man, I got this great Mai Tai recipe," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever." And then I got a text, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I was like, "Wait, what's going on here?"
It showed up behind the bar one day.
Yeah.
We're like,
He
Kevin,
loved it so much, and
we can't just
he
serve
was
this.
Very passionate, which I thought was
which
so
is great.
Cool,
Yeah.
'cause
My understanding of Kevin is he loves to vacation
Yes.
in the Caribbean. Like, I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like We've known him a couple years, and he's been there like 4 or 5 times.
Is there
exactly.
anybody who doesn't love to?
No, but he takes advantage of it. He goes to the Caribbean.
He has
Gotcha.
all those shows and.
Yeah, he does the cruises and the. So when he said he had a Mai Tai recipe, he wasn't kidding. He brought us Mai Tais. He had labels made and the whole bit. I love watching an actual bartender.
I know. It's mesmerizing.
So Steve's an active bartender. We like to bartend, but Steve actually bartends. So
I've bartended a lot in random different places in my life.
Just to go read back on.
So
some of these.
go ahead. Sorry.
Michelle said great food, got pork takeout and she loved it. My dad wants to know if he can order the thick pork steak. I'm assuming the pork shop. You can order whatever you want. It's, who's gonna stop you? I just want to know.
yeah, we'll figure that out.
You can
can
get
order
whatever you want.
And John is saying, Steve, he misses you. John Nickerson, who's
Can I just
Yep.
take one
Oh, nice.
second, since your dad chimed in, just to say how much we miss Elias.
Yes.
Here, you
We
folks,
miss him a lot.
I mean, a lot of you are related and whatnot, but those of you who aren't don't really understand how integral he is in our operation, and he's unfortunately stuck in Arizona, and we're missing him like crazy because every time he comes here, he gives us so much wisdom that we all walk away
Absolutely.
from. We're like, wait, why didn't we think of that? And so we're super anxious for
You can sit
him to
anywhere
be
but
able to
at the
be
bar,
safe
too.
and get back home.
Yes.
We miss him
I
dearly.
spoke to him today. Today was the day he was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And I just had to double check. I was like,
Don't get
you're
on the
not
plane.
tricking us, right?
Don't get on the plane.
You said you're not coming. Are you? Do I have to come pick you up at the airport right now? So
Look
he-
at that.
Those are beautiful. Oh my God, look at that.
Okay, so I
don't know how
quit.
you guys-
Yeah.
I'm no longer bartending.
All right, Steve.
Just show that.
You're
Hold on
hired.
to the camera.
Okay.
That's
That is
That's beautiful.
Steve wins.
Yep, Steve wins.
So the trick
That's
with
the
the
best
Mai Tai
looking-
with the colors, you want to mix all the juices in the rum first, then drizzle the grenadine,
And look at
and
that.
then put the.
It's like a
Dark
tequila
rum on top.
sunrise
It
with a
reminds
little
me
Long Island
of
iced tea on it.
Sean and I spent an afternoon on a beach in Key West once drinking a drink called a Miami Vice, which was a red, white, and blue.
Oh, it looked like a
frozen
bomb
drink.
pop. It looked like one of those
I
bomb
know
pops.
exactly what
And
they
this,
do.
And it was
and then
perfectly layered.
Then we decided after too many of them to rent jet skis.
Oh yes,
Not a good idea, just for future reference.
I had a
So,
blast.
Steve, this is beautiful.
Yeah, this is
All right,
beautiful.
You know?
Hold on, wait.
And then your jet ski broke down.
Mine did.
I was gonna say,
I did.
you guys are standing right here, so I'm not like. Yeah, I know how the story should
Well,
end,
so
but-
I
We're
had
still
the
alive.
brilliant idea that as the boats go by, they create wakes, which create
Oh.
really fun jumping scenarios.
That's no joke.
And they're not really
so
designed to do
Miami
that.
Vice and jumps on a jet ski. Don't mix.
Yeah,
What you're saying.
I would just say
Cheers.
don't do that. And if my kids are watching,
Don't
that's
do
a
that.
lie. I just made that story up.
That's all just made up.
Bad.
I mean, yeah.
It's
a
great.
Mai Tai.
It sure is.
That's
It's a Mai Tai.
really, really good.
Whoa,
Mai Tai with a hint of coconut. I like it. It's a Caribbean Mai Tai.
That's awesome.
Are these meant to
And
be
it's
mixed
beautiful.
up?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually you would.
I mean, you're
I
going to
tasted
end
a lot
up
of
mixed up.
grenadine in my first sip because it was all
Settled to the
I
body.
like that though. I like
a
that.
little sweetness. What I like about these is they're dangerous.
They are
Born in the
dangerous.
sun, you can't tell that it's that strong, but it is.
It gets you.
And
That's
then-
like the Bahama Mama.
That's right.
That's
The hurricane. There's so
careful
many.
with those.
Yes.
You have too many of
absolutely.
those.
I'm gonna grab the phone. You
Speaking
guys,
of frozen drinks, and these are not frozen drinks, but they certainly could be. We're hoping, and I'm hoping, we put some frozen drinks outside in the tents, which we should talk about, by the way.
I really
Again.
like that idea. I think that it could be a lot of fun.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
we close at 8 o'clock.
What the plans are, the ideas that we have for the
Yeah, I'm
tent
sorry.
here. I think this is going to make this for one exciting summer.
I
This will
hope
be
so.
Like we're talking about people canceling vacations. This will
Right,
be
so
your vacation.
everyone's having a staycation this
Yeah.
year, right? Some people are going to figure out how to sneak out, but most people are going to be close to home.
We'll have live music. We'll have
Live music.
great
We'll have-
atmosphere.
Yep.
Steve's
And,
famous Mai
And
Tai.
Steve's Mai Tai. It won't be on the. So maybe we don't put it on the menu, but the only
It's
way
like
you
a
can
secret.
order it is that you have to reference the show and be like,
Love it.
you said this or whatever.
And we'll make it like really inexpensive. Like it'll be like the super deal. Like, oh, I want the $5 Mai Tai, as opposed to the $12 thing. But you have to know like the secret password. You
Yeah,
got to know the
exactly.
knock.
Well,
love
next
it.
time, if I'm ever around again for this, I'll come up with my own signature for you. So
Perfect.
I was
Perfect.
just made aware of this earlier, and my brain.
I know. I put.
I'm like,
We'll name it
I'm
after
for a
you.
Mai Tai today. So
We'll let you name it. Steve's whatever.
Well, it worked out. It worked out like perfectly, actually.
So Steve, prior to, as well as Reunion, you work at other places, right? Still currently, or you
At the
were?
moment, I was. So I do a lot of. I was doing a lot of substitute teaching, just working in school systems, and I do a lot of coaching. Is what I like to do. So
I
don't
bet you're
know.
awesome at both of those things.
I like to think so. You know?
I really do. I bet you like.
I was a kindergarten aide for a bit one year, and that was a lot of fun. I pretty much all I did was tie shoes and put straws into Capri Suns. That was my job.
For the record, that's all I do when I work with these guys.
Not surprised.
There's the occasional diaper.
But you also have some other hidden talents that maybe everybody doesn't know about. Are you not a musician as well?
I do. I do enjoy playing music myself. I just bought a recent, really awesome red keytar that I've been playing around with.
I think we talked about it like the week we closed.
Yeah, it was right before.
Just bought.
Before all this happened, I had some extra money from the year, feeling great. I see this keytar because I used to be in a band in Los Angeles where we were called Shart, kind of an 80s hair band. And I really wanted to be a part of this band.
Did you have the hair?
No, so
Okay,
so I wanted to. It was my friends. It was my friends. They're starting up the band, and I wanted to just be a part of it. Maybe just like help them, whatever, be around it. So I
Carry
went to
your gear if I need to.
Yeah,
Yeah, got
exactly.
it.
They're my best friends, and it was an awesome idea. And we all would sing karaoke in the local like Venice bars around town and back in LA. And
I've had some fun in Venice.
yeah, it's
Venice
great.
Beach.
Yeah, Venice Beach is awesome.
So you got
So,
a keytar.
Yeah, so what happened
I mean,
is I went
everybody
with them
wants
to their auditions. They auditioned like guitarists and drummers, and like, you know what? We really want a guitarist in the band. I was like, guys, if I can find a guitar, will you let me be the guitarist? You know, I'm not really a great piano player or keyboard player or anything at all.
How a guitar player?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know nothing about it. So I like looked at it. I was like, oh yeah. Found like a guitar online. It was like a few $100 or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I could pull this off. And so I get a guitar, but I think I'm getting something where you just plug in some batteries, you press
And it makes
key,
noise.
and it makes some noise for you. You can plug it into amp maybe. And I get it out of the box. I'm pressing. I'm like,
Does
what
nothing.
do I do? And I realize it's a MIDI controller. And now I have to learn a whole new thing about
okay.
how to do that.
Modules and dialing
Yeah.
in sounds and programming keys.
So-
Wait, we have
I
a
figured
question.
some stuff out.
Is Steve Guitar Bear?
Don't say anything.
Do not say
a word.
anything.
I will say that I have had the pleasure
You have played
of
with Guitar
jamming
Bear.
with Guitar Bear. I did an entire set at Funky Murphy's with Guitar Bear one time. I think I may have told you this story, but I pulled up to load in for the gig, and Guitar Bear was standing out on the sidewalk playing just the way he does.
His
He
thing,
puts
yep,
the
doing
dip
his
bucket
thing.
out and he plays. And we got set up, and I went outside and said, "Hey, you want to come play?" And Guitar Bear came in and played the entire set with us, and he was
Never said a word,
fantastic.
right? Nod
Never
his
said
head.
a word. He had the thing. I have great pictures of it.
And he
My
rocked.
favorite part was at the end. My favorite part was jamming with him because he was really spectacular. He really is
He's a great
musician.
keyboard player, yeah.
And I play pretty straightforward music, so he was really able
He
to
fit
jam
right
along,
in.
no problem. But at the end, he's got a little Vespa scooter sort of thing. You know, these old Italian-looking scooters. And he takes his keyboard and his amp and puts it on the thing and straps another thing on his back. And he's still got the bear helmet.
Keeps the helmet on.
And he drives away down Shrewsbury Street with all his stuff on his little scooter with his helmet on.
There's no way that's legal, by the way.
No.
There's no way that's legal.
Fantastic, though.
And he's
That's what we were gonna say.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out right now. But we've
I
told.
want to know if Steven,
Yeah.
Jonathan Nickerson, thinks that are you the guitar bear?
We're not-
We'll
we're gonna leave it-
mystery.
it's a
Leave
mystery.
We'll leave it to mystery.
So the normally we play a game over here. So I guess what do you want to do? You guys want to do top 5?
Whatever you want. I like top 5.
Sure.
Should I, coulda, woulda, whatever. We still
What kind of game am I getting myself into here?
Well, it's
They're easy.
Have you ever seen Get Out, the movie?
Yes.
I
Just
don't.
kidding.
Steve, besides working at Reunion, what is a huge passion of yours?
So, playing music and playing sports. Those are the two main things.
Playing music and playing sports.
Yep,
All right,
so
so we
music-
got to do
music
something
and
top
sports.
5 related to one of those two things. So,
How about
music?
all right,
Music.
music.
We've done
All
a
right.
lot of sports.
So top 5. And what instrument do you play?
I
Guitar.
play, I mean, I play many instruments, none of them exceptionally well.
Okay.
So I
What's
play
your favorite one?
I know this feeling.
Yeah,
I live in
yeah,
the same world.
I
I
mean,
want to say top 5.
I like all of them for different reasons. I think if I were to be the best at one of them, maybe bass.
All right,
How
so
about
bass
top
player.
5
Guys.
influential musicians in your life?
Yeah,
Let's
there
do
you
bass.
go.
Sure,
Okay, that makes
sure.
it better.
I don't know
5
many bass guitar players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody
So
does.
who-
That's why I quickly changed that.
Who got you into?
I'm doing bass guitar.
I know one, and he's a friend of mine. He was my favorite bass player.
So who got you into music? Who are top 5 musical inspirations for you guys?
That's fun. It's easy for me.
Go ahead.
I was going to make a really bad joke. So I also started as a bass player early on. I wanted to be a keyboard player.
You took
But-
piano lessons for a couple
I took
years.
piano lessons,
When you were
but
like 5, 6
and that's
years
what
old.
made me think I could buy a keyboard.
Correct.
So I had a paper route and I saved up like $185.
Nice.
And I went to the local music store, Drome Sound Music, with Sean Briggs, and I was going to buy a keyboard, and it was right when synthesizers became a
Had
thing.
just started.
And I walked into the room, I was like, oh, this looks perfect. They're like, oh, that's $7,000. It's like, okay.
$180.
I'm like, well, maybe I'm not going to be a keyboard player.
Not for
And
me.
so
I don't
we-
even like it. Right?
We turned around and we walked back out.
I've been playing guitar.
Yeah, Sean was a guitar player, and we turned around and we walked back into the room, and hanging from the ceiling was this old bass guitar,
P-bass copy.
P-bass fake,
J-bass copy, actually.
and it was like, I could get that and a little amplifier for like $185. I'm like, I have $185, and that's what I walked out with,
Nice.
and so I became a bass player that day,
Sure.
That's true.
and went home and I tried for about 10 minutes. I was like, this sucks. And meanwhile, Sean's like playing like Van Halen and stuff, and I'm like, I'm never going to.
And then you met Gary.
And then I met Gary Benaquista, and well, Gary and I were friends, but
Yeah,
Gary had been
but
playing, and he
started
said, don't you own a bass guitar? We were on a ski trip with the church. I was like, yeah, why, you want to buy it or something? He's like, no, I want you to be in my band.
Nice.
He's like, I'll teach you. But so I grew up, bass players were, my first real influence for music. I was a fan of music before, but as far as musicians go, Geddy Lee from Rush was my first,
I would say that's correct.
my first, wow, that's what you can do with that instrument.
Other than Gary and myself.
Oh, yeah, no, for real.
But Geddy Lee for sure.
No,
We were all about Geddy Lee.
Yeah. So go ahead. So,
Leave it. How about yourself?
So I'm going to do bass player. So Jaco
Hey, Alan, it's
Pastorius,
Josh.
Geddy Lee, Billy Sheehan,
Good, what's up?
John Entwistle, and Mike Langford. Top 5 bass players.
I'm just gonna nod because I don't
Me
know who
same.
any of those people are. So I know Geddy Lee's Rush.
Oh, you didn't
I
get any
learned, I
stamina?
knew that. And who was the other guy you said?
So Jaco Pastorius.
Like,
What band is he?
He was a freelance.
Oh, okay.
He was with the Kick-Ass Studio, bass player, Big Jazz, Big Rock, Big Pop, played wherever. Unfortunately had a real serious ear problem.
Oh God.
And that was about it. It was like, he reminded me of a drummer that got in case of all just this guy who had this attitude, natural talent to play anything. But it was very also free spirit. I mean, I'd like to say I used to play and would play on like mild days.
And so when you listen to him, you're like, this guy can.
And then they pay him and he disappears.
And so when you listen, for you, it wants you to aspire to be a better musician, or.
And then, getting me a score. So getting me as a bass player is unbelievable. But what a lot of people don't understand about Geddy Lee is not only was he an incredible bass player, but he sang like a bird, and he's playing with his feet, bass pedals, and keyboards at the same time. He's like a one-man band.
Wow.
who are we talking about?
Geddy Lee.
Yeah.
Surrounded with one of the best
So we're still
guitar
talking about
players.
Geddy Lee?
Oh, they're saying they can't
That's
hear you. I think
fantastic.
your battery died.
Oh, my battery died? Oh, yeah,
So
let's look at that.
while he's doing that,
What about
Geddy-
Steve?
Steve, yeah, who do you got?
So I'm just go. I'm not going bass players. I don't know names of bass players.
Sure,
I just
just
enjoy playing
musicians in
that.
general.
So influences for me, I was more nerd rock. So Weezer, big in the.
You ever see him?
Yeah, I've seen them a bunch of times.
Me too.
They're great. And then there's
Rivers Rivers Cuomo
Oh, he's great.
is like one of the most brilliant songwriters and performers.
There's this other band that I found back in the Napster days when I was in college and Napster came out and you
Please
could,
tell me it's Dispatch.
No, but
No,
I love
okay,
Dispatch
all right.
as well. So you could download a bunch of free music. I was trying to download every single Weezer song I could.
Yeah.
I
And there's
never
one-
did that, by the way. I heard that
No,
was
I'm sure.
illegal or something.
Oh yes, yeah, exactly.
But go ahead.
So there was this one misnamed song. It said like Weezer Ozma song was called Game Over, and I looked them up, and there was a band in from Pasadena, California, called Ozma, and they almost sound exactly like Weezer. They were just younger kids at the time, and just a little more rock, I would say. And I found them, and then introduced them to like my friends, and everyone loved them. And that same year, the Weezer concert that we were going to, Weezer had found this band and had them open for us. And so we showed up, and we're front row, and the opener comes in, Ozma, that no one here in Massachusetts knows of because they're a California band. And all of us are right in the front, sing along to every song, and everyone's looking at us like, how do you know these guys? Like,
Napster, man.
Napster.
So those
Napster-
two are very much my two main
Ozma,
influences. for
you're
that.
going to have to share that with me because I am a
Yeah.
huge Weezer fan.
Yeah, they're very-
Sean and I have loved Weezer for
Huge
a
Weezer
long,
fan.
long
I'll play you
time.
a song or two of them, and you tell me, oh my gosh,
Awesome.
they sound super like Weezer. They do have like an added element of like they do use a keyboardist who does like a lot of 80s sound stuff a little bit, but it almost sounds like rock 80s. I don't know. It's a weird.
Fun.
Yeah,
but
sounds
it's
great.
kinda Cool. That and another main influence of music style for me, it's more of a style, is like original Nintendo
Bye, Maddie.
game music.
See
Game
you,
music.
Maddie.
Like just 8-bit Nintendo, like
It's a
Legend
thing.
of Zelda type music. I love that stuff.
Dun,
And
dun,
getting a
dun,
guitar.
dun,
don't
dun,
get-
dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
awesome.
dun, dun, dun,
Exactly.
dun, dun, dun. Well, okay, so I'm not sure I've met many musicians that have been influenced by Zelda. Might be a first.
That's because you're old.
No, Zelda was
Pretty
wasn't
old.
the first Zelda on the Commodore 64.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
we had
grew up with digital music, but like, he's of the generation that is influenced by it.
All
so
right,
like,
fine.
For sure.
He just called
get
me
it.
out like that, right?
I mean,
hey, I'm older than you. I
we're
can do that.
live too.
And I can't really jump over this bar. There's,
I had a friend in college.
They separate the brothers by the
Oh
bar.
yeah.
I had a friend in college.
There was a time in our life when that was actually necessary. We've grown past that.
I got a brother like that.
So
We played music together.
for a
Creating
long
music
time,
is a
15
whole
years.
different
Sure.
thing, man.
And we're still alive, and we're still
yeah.
together.
I ducked a few guitars in my life.
Amps, not guitars. I threw amps.
He would have
not
never
guitars.
thrown guitars.
I threw amps. I did throw a couple amp heads. That's true, actually.
It's
I had a roommate, not a roommate. I had a friend in college who, super talented guitar player, and would go to parties and get drunk, and he could play every single theme song to every TV show and video game. Oh my God, it was the hit of the party for hours.
bet.
He would literally do a medley of like whatever was on TV. He'd play, Happy Days, then he'd play Laverne and Shirley, then he'd play like All in the Family.
He's dating himself.
Yo, yeah, I didn't say
But none of those were on TV
Who's-
when you were
who's-
in college.
they were in repeats at least.
Okay.
Who's Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah, right.
Shamil.
Shemazel.
Hassan
Hassan
for
Corporate.
corporate.
That's the only thing I remember.
We're
of
gonna
that
make
show.
Oh yeah, that was
Give us
when I
any
was a
chance,
kid-
we'll take.
Carmen was from
when I was a
Worcester.
kid, you watch it like Nickelodeon and it'd be like 3 cartoons, and then that would pop on like.
Like,
you're
what the hell is that?
What is
What-
that?
what
What is this?
That guy, the Carmen. What was his
Carmen,
name?
yeah, Carmen. The big ragu.
Yeah, Big Ragu.
He was from Worcester. Yeah, still is from Worcester.
He still is from Worcester.
Well,
He's been doing Fiddler on the Roof lately. That's his
So I
thing.
think we got 5. That's probably good.
oh yeah, I would think. So for
5
me-
each.
No, I didn't. 'Cause I'm not a musician.
So all right, good night, guys.
I'm not a musician. I would say, like, for me, who I like to listen to give me inspiration, or just people in general who are just like intriguing, cool people. And it's cliche, but like, Kurt Cobain. Like, that's somebody
Who?
He had this band Nirvana or something, and he
Sounds
was,
like a good band name.
like, just like a super interesting person, a guy who kind of couldn't get out of his own way, and didn't like fully understand. Or maybe he did. and just
Yeah,
didn't
maybe he
care.
did.
what he had or who he was to people. So and it was just crazy how just the way he viewed life and in his vision at the time, nobody was doing what they were doing, and if they were, they didn't do it like he did.
Not like
That's
you
true.
did. Yeah.
For sure.
So somebody like that, I don't know. I don't really have many others, but
I will say that, Steve, you're absolutely right. These are dangerous.
Yeah.
I almost finished
my
mine,
whole
and I said, I'm
head
going to
is,
stop because
my head
I don't
is
wanna
hot.
I don't want to be the one who finished it on it.
It turns out if you wear a mask, it slows you down a little bit.
You can tell.
All right.
Yeah, look, I
Well,
mean, that's not me typically.
This is episode number, I think, like 31 or 32.
32.
And we've done this like for a month straight. We started this April 28th or 29th, and here we are a month later. Who knew? So these are fun. Let's keep,
So much fun.
I can't wait when we're outside. Let's do them outside at night.
oh, that would be fun. Then we'll have
We'll
guests from
interview the
audience.
bands. Yeah, we'll interview the bands. We'll talk to
That'll be
like.
great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And
So
any
fun.
requests? You want to see us make drinks or do anything? Whatever.
Yeah, and
Whatever.
not whatever. I mean, there's
Well.
a few things I'm not willing to do. Yeah.
You'll get naked.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like gin. We've determined that. We already know that.
So,
right.
guys, have a great night.
Good night,
Thanks for
guys.
watching. Take care.
All right,
having
thanks,
me.
Steve, for joining out.
Pleasure.